Good morning, class. Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's grammar lesson. So this is week 13 in our grammar books. And this week we're just adding on one new thing to what we already know. So we're learning a new subject opener. Okay, and this week's subject opener is labeled VSS. So what that means is that it's a subject and a verb that could just stand alone by themselves. So it's either 2 to 5 words long, so it's very short, and it's a strong phrase, right? That's meant to kind of add punch to what's going on. Okay, so if you see something that's very short and prompt and strong, then it's probably a number 6 sentence opener. Okay, so an example of this would be like, Robin leapt with joy. Okay, so if you saw that, you see that Robin's the subject and leapt is the verb, and then with joy. Okay, so that's a VSS, a number 6. It's strong. Okay, and just a reminder, we have our number 1, which is just the subject. So this is when it's just a long clause. Okay, the subject opener. Then number 2, prepositional. So we know our preposition card is at our disposal. And number 3, the ly adverb. So if it starts with an ly adverb. And then last time we learned number 5, which is the clausal opener. So that's when it starts with a dependent clause. Okay, and this week's grammar card, which you should take from the back of your book and bring to the front of your book, will have all of your subject openers listed. So take a minute and get that out, and that will help you as well. Okay, now I want you to pause the video and work on your sentence, because the next thing I'm going to do is take it up with you. Okay, so go and do that now. All right, so our sentence today is, without delay, I will journey abroad to seek adventures, Robin added. Tarry for me here. So we can see that Robin Hood is still speaking. So this continues on where we were last week on our last day. So we got to make sure that we start by putting in quotation marks. And, oh, sorry, I don't have very pretty quotation marks. But they go right at the beginning, because we can tell that he's still talking. And we can tell that he stops because it mentions his name. So we're going to end the quotation mark right here. Without delay, I will journey abroad to seek adventures, Robin added. Okay, because he was talking in the last sentence and then it just ended with he complained, and now he's keeping on talking, we don't need a new indent. We're just going to keep on going, okay? And then he's still giving instructions. So we're going to put our quotation mark there, but you'll see in the note it says Robin will continue speaking, so do not put closing quotation marks at the end. So we have to remember that for tomorrow, okay? All right, now we're going to do our normal things. We want to start our sentence with a capital, and we see that this poor little I is lowercase, and that needs to be capitalized too, as well as Robin. That's his name, so it needs a capital. And we're going to just leave this. Or actually, we are going to put a period. I'm sorry. So we are going to put a period because that's his thought, but we're not going to put a quotation mark because he's going to keep talking. Okay? So now we need to apply what we learned last week with quotation marks. So we see that this is a quotation mark. Then we have the subject verb. So we actually need to put a comma here to make this quote agree with Robin added. Okay? All right, now let's work on our clauses. So, I will journey abroad to seek adventures. I looks like our subject. And then will is future tense verb. And then journey is a verb. Abroad to seek adventures. So that tells us that that's our first clause. And because it can stand by itself, it's actually going to be our main clause. Okay? Robin added is another main clause because it's just subject verb. So it can exist all by itself. So that's our next clause. And with a separate sentence here, we have our third clause. So to tarry means to stay in place, and that is a verb. Okay, and me is our subject. Me is referring to Robin. Okay, so there we go. All right, now let's comb through this. So we see that without is a preposition, which means that this sentence opens with the prepositional opening, which is our number 2 sentence opener. All right, now we have another preposition, here, okay? For me. And that actually concludes today's sentence. So if your sentence looks like this, then you are good to go. You can begin your rewrite. Make sure that you have your definition down. To tarry means to stay in place. You can also say wait if you want to. And there you have it. Happy writing.